Suppose you're hunting for something genuinely rare. Fraud hiding in a sea of honest transactions, a disease in a healthy population, or one relevant document buried among millions. The ROC curve, the usual way we grade a classifier, can look absolutely wonderful on a problem like this and quietly mislead you into trusting a mediocre model. There's a better tool built exactly for rare positives, and it's called the precision recall curve. Today we'll walk through what it plots, how you build it step by step, and precisely why it stays honest in situations where the ROC curve does not. Let's start with the core reason this curve exists at all. Consider the ROC curve on rare positives. Its horizontal axis is the false positive rate, and when negatives vastly outnumber positives, that rate stays tiny even when you're raising plenty of false alarms, simply because you're dividing by an enormous pool of negatives. So the curve, and its headline AUC, can look great while the model is actually generating a flood of noisy false positives. Precision behaves differently. It measures false positives relative to the few true positives you actually have, not against the vast negative pool. So it stays sharply sensitive to false alarms no matter how many negatives are lurking in the background. That's the whole reason a precision recall curve tells you the truth exactly when positives are scarce and every false alarm counts. Now walk through how the curve gets drawn step by step. Begin by sweeping the decision threshold, moving it from strict, where you only flag the most confident cases, toward lenient, where you flag almost everything. Every setting gives you a different balance of catches and mistakes to measure. Watch what happens as you loosen it. Recall rises, because flagging more cases means you catch more of the actual positives, but precision usually falls at the same time because you're inevitably letting more false positives slip through the net. The curve is tracing that tension between the two directly, point by point. Then plot the pairs. Precision goes up the vertical axis, recall runs along the horizontal one, and connecting the points as the threshold slides gives you the precision recall curve. A strong model keeps precision high even as recall climbs. Finally, summarize it. The area under the curve is the average precision, a single number that captures the whole trade-off in one value, and averaging that across all your classes gives mean average precision. That's the score you'll see reported on leaderboards for object detection and information retrieval, so it's worth recognizing on site. So, keep 3 ideas in your pocket whenever you reach for this curve. First, the axis. Precision, meaning how right your positive flags actually are, sits on the vertical, and recall, meaning how many of the real positives you manage to catch, runs along the horizontal. Together, they describe exactly how the model behaves at every threshold you might reasonably pick for your task. Second, average precision. The area under the curve condenses the entire trade-off into one number, and the mean of it across classes is the metric leaderboards report for detection and retrieval tasks. Third, know your baseline. A random, no-skill model draws a flat line sitting at the fraction of positives in your data, which is tiny for rare classes, maybe 1%. So unlike the ROC's fixed diagonal, your reference line moves with the problem, and a genuinely good curve should sit well above that low anchor. All right, let's gather up the essentials. This curve grades a classifier across every threshold, plotting precision against recall instead of the rates an ROC curve uses. As the threshold loosens, recall climbs while precision tends to fall, and the curve traces that trade-off point by point. The area under it, average precision, summarizes performance, and mean average precision is the standard metric for detection and retrieval. So reach for it whenever positives are rare and every false alarm genuinely matters. and lean on ROC when your classes are balanced. If explanations that build up like this click for you, Standarity.com is packed with plenty more of them.